And if it doesn't, I'm going to throw OBS in the... Okay, there we go. All right. Grrrr. Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Actually, you know what? No. This is not a fun-filled episode at all. Actually, Bear is quite aggravated right now. You know what? Bear knows his garbage, but the OBS software, I tell you what, I went to go download a new update on OBS, and all of a sudden it just kind of craps out on Bear. It was working fine earlier, and then all of a sudden, you know, Bear gets to go ready. Oh, no, I'm gonna do it live. All right, at 8 o'clock, right on time and everything. Get everybody into here. Yeah. And of course, like, you go to do the OBS, and it just like holds and holds and holds. Bear went, you know, foraged for some food, came back, you know, kind of used the restroom, this and that, whatever. It finally came up maybe like 10 minutes later or something like that after it finally. Anyways, Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods, and today we've got an interesting story. Hello, kind wizard. How are you? Thank you. Thank you for showing up here. Yeah, got a great show for you here today. Actually, let me get to here real quickly. Bear with Bear here for just a second, because still got to figure out this stinking OBS, because what a pain in the butt it's been. I tell you what. So, anyways, let me see if I can click on the thing just to show what we're kind of gonna try and do here today. Let's see. We've got a click on it. And you can click on it there. There we go. It's we'll be doing kind of a head-to-head here with Titan and also Starblades. So there we are. There we are. Hello, people. Hello, people. So we're gonna be doing that, and also very quickly, probably a 499 as well. Bear got that in the other day, so might try and squeeze that in there. It won't be a full review, but just kind of want to talk about it real quickly while it's still rattling around there in Bear's head there. So, all right, there we go. All right, anyways, I've got to get back, because this thing, I tell you what, is not working for Bear at all as far as the OBS goes. But we're gonna give it a shot. Give it a shot here, because we actually got some fun little news stories to kind of talk about here. Let me see if it'll work. Let's see if it works here. Hey, it does. All right, there we go. There we are. We're talking, it's a little story here from Deadline, which is kind of the best way to describe it, kind of as a trade magazine, I guess, for, you know, the Hollywood stuff out there. So it kind of does stuff where it's, you know, the studios want to put something out, or I don't know, artist or maybe an actor or something like that, or shoot, even one of the talent agencies or something like that wants to put stuff out there in the ether. You know, they kind of go through Deadline and everything. So basically, they're trying to tell us what to think here and everything, but it kind of gives a little bit of a back history or backstory of what's going on. Anyways, they are very, very flummoxed here. Very don't know how to do it. As the audience for almost everything evaporates, we reach for Occam's razor, and this is written by let me see, Michael Creepley. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but there you go. All right, let me see if he'll do the thing for Bear here. Anyways, they're talking about the Olympics, but pretty much everything else. And man, oh man, I tell you what, the people over there at Deadline are just kind of just scratching their heads, trying to figure out what's going on here. What's the deal here? So he says, where did everybody go? Oh, I don't know. They certainly weren't watching the Friday night Tokyo Olympics opening ceremony, which, by the way, Bear is actually with the Japanese people out there who are boycotting the Olympics, saying that the Olympics need to go away and shouldn't even be in the country there. They don't even have anybody in the stands or anything like that, so it's kind of a very weird Olympics. I think they should have just skipped it and kind of went to the next year's Olympics or something like that. But anyways, and also of course, Bear is rooting against Team USA here, so especially the basketball team and the women's soccer as well. The audience dropped to about 17 million, down 37% from 26.5 million viewers for the Rio de Janeiro opening in 2016. Way back then, way back when. Yes, indeed. It goes on. He says, "We know they weren't at the movies." The box office dropped 25% from last week. As Old and Snake Eyes had a week. Actually, this was from last week, I think, but it still holds up. Old Snake Eyes had weak openings, and Black Widow continues its precipitous fall down into the gutter, soon headed over to the court system, and let them kind of figure it out. That ought to be interesting. That's another topic for another time. Is streaming or social media, he asks? Kinda, sorta, maybe. It's not hard to notice that Netflix reported a loss of about 400,000 domestic subscribers, while Twitter, although nicely up from a year ago, saw a decline of about 1 million in its active user base, probably because they were banned or shadow banned or kicked off the platform, but you never know, compared to the previous quarter. In the media world, it's beginning to feel like that old wispy song from 1965. Good Lord, Mr. Creeply, how old are you? Everyone's gone to the moon. Yeah, we all know that song, right? Everybody's gone to the moon. Yeah, I don't know. Never heard that song before. For a while, a case-by-case analytics plus the vague obligatory reference to the Wu flu seemed to explain the disappearing audience. Oh, of course. Were the Oscars down 56% to 10.4 million viewers in April? Well, the movies were boring. Plus the Wu flu. Did the Golden Globes fall 62% to a 6.9 million fewer weeks earlier? Blame, of course, racism. Why not? Plus the same boring movies. Plus, the Wu flu. Didn't the Super Bowl slide to a moderate low in early February? Of course, but it was a weak matchup between second-tier television markets. Oh, come on, Tampa Bay. I tell you, listen. Tampa Bay is, what, the second or third largest city here in Florida? So I don't know about these second-tier. Who would be a first-tier? I tell you what. Kansas City. And you can add the Wu flu refrain if you want. Sports in general, too woke? Yes, indeed. The Emmys, too complicated. The Emmys are too complicated. Okay. Black Widow, streamed to death. And cable news. Oh, don't we all want to watch cable news? Too repetitive and contentious, and a loss without Trump. Oh, where is Trump? Oh, why? Why? Or they're just completely just dull. As the reasons pile up, you begin to wonder if it's not time to reach for the Occam's razor to slit your wrist. And oh, wait, no. A philosophical rule, he says, that says more or less that the simplest of competing theories should be preferred to the more complex one. Yes, indeed. So here's his simple theory. Oh, let's see what his simple theory is here. He says, maybe as a group, we are suffering from screen fatigue. It's been screen fatigue the whole time. Not in the narrow sense of migraines, eye strain, and there's a computer vision syndrome. Oh my gosh. Look out, people, for computer vision syndrome. But a much bigger way as culture. We're tired. He's really stretching this here. We're tired of Zoom calls. We're tired of event television, of course, as in everybody. We're really tired of looking at ourselves on media screens, large and small. Well, speak for yourself. This was happening before the Wu flu. The secular decline in viewers for the Academy Awards program is one of his favorite yardsticks for the growing Inui. What the heck is Inui? Oh, bear with beer for just 1 second here. What the heck is he talking about? Let's look it up. Anyway, a feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement. You just could have said for the growing boredom that people have out there. But we got to make it that we're very smart. So he says NUI. Even before the lockdowns, the Oscar audience was off 57% from its peak. Oh, my goodness. And it had fallen in stages from, holy cow, 55.25 million viewers in 1998 when Titanic was the best picture and something that pretty much everybody saw. You know, the whole thing where people go to the movies and, oh, hey, I like that one. Yeah, all right. To less than half that number with Parasite won. Raise your hands if you actually seen Parasite. Bear's hand is not raised. Sure, the virus hurt, but it only hastened what was happening anyways. A very human reaction to the confinement of life on the screens. People were getting itchy. They wanted to eat. They couldn't eat. They wanted to. They couldn't breathe. Well, I don't know. Climb rocks. Yeah, who doesn't want to climb rocks? Fall in love with said rocks. Have babies with said rocks. And maybe walking the dog with said rocks out there. Yes. Come to think of it, they were doing exactly what my Deadline colleague Bruce Herring described this weekend in a report on the Olympics ratings collapse. We should understand, wrote the guy, the desire of most people to get out and do something after a year-long pandemic confinement. And he concludes, simple but true. Thank you, Bruce. You have a way with that razor. Now don't slit my wrist. Now, maybe. Now, this is Bear's thought here. Bear's thought. Now, Mr. Creepily, however you describe this here. Maybe people are tuning out because everything that you guys are putting out is terrible, and we don't want to see it. And I don't know. Let's see. He went through a whole bunch of different things, like people weren't watching. What was it? The Emmys and all this. He never mentions. Let's see. Twitter. Yeah, Twitter, Netflix, all this stuff. He never mentions like Twitch. Didn't mention, Bear's been growing in users here for some time, so didn't mention YouTube or anything like that. So maybe, just maybe, your product stinks, and it stinks to high heaven, and it stunk for quite a while, at least since 1998. Holy cow, how many people? Pardon me here, it was a number. 55. 0.25 million viewers. Holy cow indeed. I tell you what, so that was that's kind of interesting there. All right, well, enough of that. Let me continue on here, because we actually have some other stories to kind of get to. Actually, this kind of bumps up with a different video that Bear did the other week, talking about he was going to talk about the whole Wu flu situation, what you could and couldn't say there on the YouTubes, as it were. So we kind of went through that, and what was that? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It's already out of date. All the stuff that Bear was talking about, it's already out of date. So as a let me find it here. Let me find it for one moment. Here it is. Health officials are less confident in the Wu flu vaccine efficacy with the rise of the Delta variant. And this is from Just the News, a very good site. Do check it out. Let's see who wrote this. Daniel Payne. What a great name, Daniel Payne. So let's click on to this. Figure out what he says. He says, public health confidence in the efficacy of the Wu flu vaccine appears to be waning as officials warn of enhanced danger, even for the vaccinated individuals, from the Delta variant. Ah, yes, the Delta variant. Actually, Delta kind of sounds like something from Star Wars or something like that, or Star Trek. We've got to go to the Delta variant. For the most part, for most of the past year, officials have claimed that vaccinations are the only viable path back to normalcy and away from the lockdowns and other aggressive mitigation measures. Quote, look at the folks, those folks out there in your community who've gotten vaccinated and are getting back to their living their lives, their full lives, President Asterix said in a May press conference, arguing that the vaccine was, quote, going to help them and their loved ones be safe, get our businesses open again, and get us back to normal. Yes. Bear's going to take a drink. Yes. Yes, indeed. There we are. All right. Almost went down the wrong pipe. The rollout of the vaccine, starting last year and continuing throughout the spring and summer of this year, has been hailed as the driving force behind the reopening of the economy and the ending of the mask mandates. Oh, we've got a story on that one. And similar restrictions. Yet over the past week, the tone from public officials has grown increasingly grim. That's what you want from your public officials, is a grim tone. There you go. With leaders now appearing to doubt that the vaccine is sufficient to forestall the Wu flu transmission and potential catastrophe due to the rise of the Delta variant. Now, if you had watched the show from whatever 2 weeks ago or something like that, and you actually questioned or just kind of had a comment or just hey, how effective are these vaccines? That was going to put you on a list for YouTube. But now the experts have finally caught up to bear here, and they're questioning the if the vaccine is sufficient to forestall transmission. There you go. That's the actual quote. In an internal government document published Friday morning in the Washington Post, which, by the way, the guy that published that, I mean, he got a tongue lashing on Twitter from actually I think it was the White House. It was I think somebody in the press department there. I mean, all caps. I mean, it was all how dare you, sir? Yeah, so they're eating their own. It's kind of interesting. Let's see. The Washington Post stated clearly that vaccinated individuals can still transmit the Delta variant. Oh my goodness, creating new alarm among medical professionals, or not so professional. The document also stated that the vaccine appears to provide less protection to the elderly, and the nursing home residents, and those with compromised immune systems than previously thought. So actually, if you brought that up, let's say 2 weeks ago, you would have probably been marked or banned off of YouTube, definitely off of Twitter and all that other stuff, Facebook, all that other stuff. So they're actually catching up to Bear here. Bear was already there 2 weeks ago. Hashtag 2 weeks. The document urged public health officials to change their messaging. Oh my God. Oh no, don't change your messaging about the vaccine, saying that they're still the best way to prevent getting the most serious symptoms, while acknowledging, the shots alone may not stop the spread, and that vaccinated, am I still allowed to say this on YouTube? Because 2 weeks ago I wasn't allowed to even get anywhere near that. May not stop the spread of the virus, and that vaccinated people are going to see more breakthrough infections. Oh, okay. Vaccines prevent... What? Vaccines prevent... okay. I'm like, what the heck? Vaccines prevent less than 90% of severe diseases, but may be less effective at preventing infection or transmission. So it's not that effective. Therefore, more breakthrough and more community spread despite vaccination. Well, I mean, that just makes you want to just go out and get that jab. A marked shift was seen this week from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. Great job, guys. You're just bang up work there. And prevention, which reversed, of course, which reversed its earlier masking mandate and claimed that fully vaccinated individuals should wear masks indoors in areas with high COVID transmission, or outdoors, or in the pool, or taking a shower, or anything like that. Oh, the Delta variant behaves uniquely different from past strains of the virus. No kidding, really. And that caused the Wu flu. The lady says at a press conference this week, information on the Delta variant from several states and other countries indicate that in rare occasions, some vaccinated people infected with the Delta variant after vaccination may be contagious and spread the virus. Well, what's the point? What's the point, I tell you? As she claimed, this new science is worrisome and unfortunately warrants an update to our recommendations. Well, it would be helpful if you would have said, hey, new information came out, and apparently our previously one was wrong, so, hey, our bad people, we're trying our hardest. Here's the science, here's where it came from, here's why we changed our mind, and we'll let you... No, you get browbeat. You get browbeat. A White House coronavirus Wu flu expert, a doctor, the Fauci. Oh, I see some ducks out there. Quack, 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 quack. There you go, duckies. There you go. Signaled a similar shift during an interview with NPR when he called the Delta variant a different... No kidding, it's a different virus. The Delta variant is much more capable of transmitting from people to people. Yes, that's what happens when things mutate. The Fauci claimed that when even fully vaccinated people contract the virus, they are capable of transmitting the infection to somebody else. So, of course, go out and get the jab, people. The shift from strong confidence in the vaccine to the masking of fully vaccinated individuals comes after several weeks of steadily rising Wu flu cases. Pardon me. Excuse me. throughout the United States. Experts have feared that the Delta variant could cause a surge in hospitalizations and deaths. I would like to see, I would like to see the data on that one. Usually, what happens is when a virus mutates, it is highly more transmittable. Transmittable? Yeah, whatever. You can transmit it easier, but it's the death rate is much lower because it doesn't make much sense for the virus to kill you if it can't spread out because it's going to die with the body itself. So that doesn't make any sense. Leading to catastrophic scenarios of the kind hypothesized at the outset of the pin. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and run that scenario again and see if everybody kind of taps to the same music there. I don't think that's a wise idea, but there you go. Hey Bianca, good to see you. My volume. Let me check it out. Am I too low? I am too low. Let me turn that up. All right. Thank you, Bianca. Let me get to it here because where is it? There we go. Hopefully that's better. By the way, go check out Bianca's site. He's always got some good stuff there on his channel. Some good videos out there. Do watch him. Don't comment that much, but I do watch him and do enjoy him, Bianca. Keep it up. Good to have you here. Let's see. Where was Bear? Bear was left uncertain amid the revised recommendations at this point. Is at what point, if ever, it will be safe for the vaccinated individuals to go maskless. It's like streaking now, I guess. Both the Fauci and Walensky have acknowledged that the infections in vaccinated individuals are, quote, rare, and both have continued to argue strongly that the vaccines are effective at fighting the virus. Sure. The disconnect between that confidence and the new guidance has rendered the new directive somewhat opaque. Oh, it's somewhat opaque. I mean, not completely, what do you call that? Coming out of a bull's behind there. There we go. The Fauci did not comment on the doctor's thinking on the matter. His office did not comment on the doctor's thinking on the matter. The CDC, meanwhile, declined to comment beyond referring to unspecified research, it says, is guiding its decision. Hey, you know what? I mean, if we're going to go ahead and lock things up, what we need is unspecified research. Let's see. And I'll just kind of continue wrapping it up here. Let's see. Arizona Republic columnist, Elva Davis, meanwhile, wrote this week that the new guidance sends a confusing message over the effectiveness of the vaccine. No, Miss Davis, not at all. The CDC, the ultimate scientific arbiter in public health. I mean, just bang up job there, CDC. Bang up job. Is confusing the heck out of everyone, she wrote, and angering people like me who supported and advocated for severe lockdowns and strict. Well, Miss Davis, please go to the nearest volcano and just jump right on in. Active volcano, that is. Active volcano. All right, so there we are. So they're talking about the vaccines and people that need to go out and get them and everything. So what we've got here in our next story, kind of interesting. You know, you're a little bit hesitant. Maybe you say, hey, you know what? Some of the stuff. I've got questions about it. I'm a little hesitant. I don't like the browbeating or anything like that. Let me just make sure that everything's safe. I just want to make sure that it's safe and everything. So, in our next story here, feds extend COVID vaccination expiration date to 6 months to save doses. To save doses and boost inoculation rates. He says the vaccines were initially good for 3 months, then 4.5. And now 6 months, if a quote is stored correctly, of course. That's right. Because, I mean, and this is by Misty Severi. Because, of course, I mean, when you're putting in an experimental vaccine into your blood system, I mean, hey, if it's a little bit out of the expiration date, what's a little bit of time? I mean, you can give your little kid a jab in the arm with an experimental vaccine that might be out of his expiration date, but don't give him milk without out of the expiration date. That would be horrible. That you would be a bad parent if you did that. U.S. regulators saved hundreds of thousands of Wu flu vaccine doses from being thrown away after they extended the expiration date like a magic wand for the vaccines for the second time. The move is an attempt to salvage expiring shots to battle the nation's summer surge in infections, according to the Associated Press. The Food and Drug Administration on Wednesday sent a letter to shot maker Johnson & Johnson saying that the company's doses remain safe and effective for at least 6 months when stored properly. Yeah, at like negative 300 degrees or something like that. The move gives the shots an extra 6 weeks amid efforts to get more because what you want to do to get more Americans vaccinated is say, hey, this vaccine might be out of date by 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. Anyways, similar efforts are happening in states all across the country. The surge in infection is largely due to the highly contagious, haven't we heard this before, Delta variant of the Wu flu, which has spread rapidly, particularly among unvaccinated. Well, yes, I would assume so. Inoculation rates have climbed only slightly after a steep fall from the early April peak, the wireless service also reports. So, all right, what you want to do is, they're already talking about it. Is you got to put put that face diaper on, get that mask back on. So actually, our final story here. I mean, we all want to put the masks on and everything like that. So nearly 1.6 billion disposable masks polluted oceans in 2020, and it will take 450 years to decompose. Oh my God. 52 billion masks were produced in 2020, and about 1.6 billion entered Earth's oceans, according to a new report. And this is by Brianna Kramer. Just at the news. Nearly 1.6 billion disposable face masks ended up in the Earth's ocean in 2020, out of the roughly 52 billion produced. While governments around the world continue to support mask mandates in public spaces, the impact of disposable masks is only just emerging. Well, you're going to have a hard choice here. Are you going to save yourself, or are you going to save the planet? I mean, that's a tough choice there. The report by the Hong Kong-based Marine Conservancy group Oceans Asia, titled Masks on the Beach, also estimated that, masks on the beach. Holy cow, that's a good one. That would make a good movie. That'd be like a neat horror movie. Masks on the beach. Dun 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 dun. Get Bear's agent on the phone. I need to get this Masks on the Beach movie going here. That'd be great. Also estimated that the roughly 5,500 tons of plastic pollution entered the ocean in 2020 from masks. That figure is equal to 7% of the Great Pacific Garbage. There's a Great Pacific Garbage Patch? Why didn't anybody tell Bear? Oh, for crying out loud. I hope there's a lot of salmon out there. A mass of plastic debris floating in the ocean that is twice the size of Texas. Holy cow, that's a lot of masks. Well, a cigarette butt or plastic bag takes 20 years or less to degrade in the ocean. A plastic bottle, disposable diaper, or disposable mask, it's, one half of the one, half of the other. It takes nearly 450 years to fully break down. The majority of disposable masks, like the N95 respirators and surgical masks, were produced in China factories, which were reportedly producing 450 million masks per day in April 2020. Despite a reduction of mask wearing in recent months, officials appear to be ramping up masks yet again with the emergence of the virus's highly contractable, say it with me people, Delta variant. Yes, indeed. So, once again, you can save yourself, or you can save the planet, but you can't save. Well, actually, I tell you what, if you've got one of those disposable masks, and you come home, you're at the office all day, you're at work, and it's been chained to your face the entire day, and you finally get home and step inside and everything. I guess you still have to wear a mask inside your own house and everything, to bed and in the shower and all the other stuff. Well, instead of throwing away the masks and, contributing to the giant, what do they call it? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Just take the mask off. Just take the mask off, all right, and just flip it around and then put it back on. And that way you can use it, twice, so you're not polluting the environment that much. So yeah, why don't you just try that? Take the mask off, turn it around, and then put it back on, and it should save yourself there. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and get right on into it. Kind of nice news stories there, but we've got to get to the main attraction here. Let me get to it here. Beer with Bear here. He tries to figure out. Oh, he's tried to figure out YouTube here, or excuse me, OBS. Let's see. There it is. There it is. We're talking about Titan and Starblades here. Let me find. Bear with Bear here for 1 second. I gotta find 499 here. Where is it? Oh, where is it, Bear? Let's see. Get the. Let's see. Nope. Not that. Nope. Yep. There we go. All right. There we are, people. All right. So 499. We got 499 here. There it is. I'll just put it up here. Put it up so everybody can see it here. There we are. There we go. So just very quickly, it's going to be a head-to-head between Titan and Starblades here, but just kind of wanted to mention very briefly 499. I don't have anything. I don't have anything scanned in or anything like that, so it's going to be kind of a very quick review. Bear had more hope, I suppose, for 499. It's a kind of a collab combination with Narwhal and your boy Zach, Richard C. Meyer. So I think Richard C. Meyer wrote the story, and of course Narwhal drew everything, colored it, and I think he also does the lettering as well. So it was good. You could tell that it was a your boy Zach story instead of a Narwhal story. Narwhal kind of has a very complex storytelling way of doing his storytelling. This one was a little bit more kind of straightforward, simple, but not in a bad way or anything like that. It was just kind of as a sort of A to B kind of continuation there. The way that they kind of changed it up a little bit is you added a little bit of a mystery sort of stuff to that, so it wasn't kind of a direct line A to B. You kind of search around a little bit there, but other than that, it was a good story. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. The only thing that Bear thought was maybe that it might have been I don't know, prequel, sequel to Narwhal's other book. He had Foreign Agent. Basically, the story in Foreign Agent is you had some people that were deserting. They were fighting in a war and they were deserting. They're over in Europe and deserted and found a farmhouse to kind of hold out. And, the whole time that they were talking about getting back home, getting back to their family and everything. So it might be somewhat connected. I'm not sure. This is kind of if you kind of think of the Breakfast Club inside a sort of military academy. That's kind of what they were kind of going for here. So kind of thinking maybe it had something to do with Foreign Agent or in that same sort of universe or something like that. It was kind of a bad war, and the veterans kind of come home and raise their kids and everything, but it's a very militaristic society and everything. So very kind of rough and everything, very kind of rough and tumble. And they have an issue with the sort of character here that you see is they're calling him a traitor. It was more kind of a what would we call it? Kind of a he's doing a lot of spray paint and graffiti and everything. Kind of riling people up and everything. So they're trying to find this mysterious person who's kind of riling up the community and everything. They think it's some of the kids in the high school and everything. So they end up, actually one of the best parts of the story is they end up kind of locking down the high school. So everybody is kind of locked into the high school for like a couple days until they can find this person, find this traitor out there. So that was kind of interesting. Like you said, kind of a little bit of like the Breakfast Club with a military element to it. So kind of an interesting thing there. Like you said, it was a more or less a simple story. There was a whole lot more going on, but it was kind of pushed to the very edge of stuff, so you kind of had to read between the lines a little bit or read at the very end of the book just to kind of figure out some of the things that were going on there. But yeah, it was a nice book. Was hoping for a little bit more there, but yeah, it was fine. Let me find it here. The one thing that Bear thought, there was a kind of a controversial thing with the. Let me see if I can get the book open and show you people. But I suppose the number one, Narwhal's art style, is kind of divisive. Didn't have any problem with the art style, but the one thing that people are going to notice is the color in here, which, again, kind of going with that sort of 80s theme. It seemed like it was a very much, it was very pastel. It was very, kind of very bold. Well, I'll show you, kind of very bold colors here. Let's see if I can get to it here, people. There we are. Do it. There we are. So it had kind of a lot of these sort of very vibrant colors to it. Oh, there's a good page right there. I'll show it. There we go. There we are. You see it? There we go. So it's got really this kind of very interesting, I'll call it, art style. So a lot of times the characters are in this sort of color palette that, like, right here, he's green, and here he's blue, and here he's like normal color and everything. So it was kind of, and they're the red, so it goes from like purple to red. It was a very odd choice of color styles in 499. Here, I'll put it back. There we are. Kind of an odd choice of color styles there in 499. I'm not sure it was really necessary. I think it. There was a couple points where it was, at least for Bear, was a little distracting, only because like they had a fight scene and you saw kind of how the characters changed color within the scene. So when they were just starting to get introduced too. So you had these two characters fighting, and Bear wasn't sure which character was which because there wasn't that much of a, they're both that sort of same color, but it kept changing. So I don't know. Maybe there's kind of a whole thing about, okay, this is what this color means and this is why it means something. It was a little lost on Bear. Bear couldn't really kind of figure that out. So I think if it was still in that same sort of world as Foreign Agent, I would have kept it black and white. I think Narwhal just kind of concentrating a little bit more on the art and forgetting about the color for a little bit. I think it would have came out a little bit better. Your mileage is going to vary. I mean, maybe that's, maybe it's something that everybody's going to see and it's like, oh, that's the next big thing. We've got to do sort of pastel colors, kind of interesting color palette and everything. Maybe that might be the next big thing. I don't know, but it was kind of stark. It was kind of stark and, again, not really necessary. But other than that, it was a fine book. There was nothing wrong with the book or anything like that. I got to give them credit, though. It's not the sort of traditional superhero or super soldier or something like that. Just kind of a very basic story, talking about kids in high school with kind of interesting situation going on. They're getting sent off to sort of the military academies and stuff like this. So it's kind of a prep school, I suppose, for military stuff. It was a fine story. It was a fine story. You gotta give them credit for a unique story, kind of an interesting one shot. You're not doing the superheroes or anything like that. It was a good story. Nothing wrong with it or anything like that. But it would be if we had to judge here, it would be in third place here, between Titan, Starblades, and 499. 499 would be in probably third place there. Again, nothing wrong with your boy Zach. Nothing wrong with Narwhal or anything like that. Just didn't hit the same notes that Bear was kind of hoping for. So, anyways, let me get this out of the way. Because we actually have, and I hope Hope OBS works for me. Good Lord, OBS. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You never can tell. But it's, we'll give it a shot here. We'll give it a shot. I tell you what. Garbage platform. All right, let me get up some drink. All right, which one do we want to start with first? I think we'll go with Starblades first. This was kind of an interesting. Bear did not. Oops, let me get to it here. Bear did not. There it goes. That's a much better looking cover. Here's the back cover. Here we are. This wasn't planned. Bear didn't come into this thing planned. Kyle Ritter, the author and colorist and artist of Starblades, very much known for doing coloring, mainly on the Cyberfrog books. I think he's done some other books as well, but I don't know exactly which one. Bear's kind of pretty much familiar with Kyle working on the Cyberfrog stuff. So Kyle Ritter, very much known for colors. Let me get this window out. Pardon me, people. I'm getting too distracted by all this stuff. All right, there we go. All right, so Kyle Ritter, known for pretty much his colors there. And then Titan, Gary Shipman, the other book that we're going to talk about here, is all in black and white. So we've actually got, wasn't ever planned or anything like that, but we've got the Maestro in color competing against probably one of the better artists out there doing it in black and white, Gary Shipman. So, you know, it was kind of an interesting matchup here for Bear. But, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead, give it a shot, see which one's the best. All right, trying to get to, let's see, how we want to do this here. Well, let's see, kind of first off, Starblades, once again, it was kind of a, it's starting out. It's starting out here, so the story is pretty simple. Basically, in fact, let me just kind of click on it here. Like the first 10 pages or so, just kind of rock rolled here. The first 10 pages basically set up everything in the sort of Starblades universe. So you kind of have a how to describe this. It's a society, post-apocalyptic society. Earth had some very nasty stuff happen in the far past, so they were able to kind of come up with. I suppose it would be technological, but, maybe magical as well. Maybe kind of that nexus between the two there. Kind of society. So you got this gentleman that's been kind of as a protector of Earth, I suppose. So he's out there talking with, I guess, his protege, as it were there. And basically just kind of these first kind of 10 pages here or so. Let me see if I can click to it. There we are. First couple 10 pages or so is... basically just kind of setting up the entire world. And out of those couple of pages, I mean, Kyle did a really good job of just setting everything up. And, of course, you could tell, I mean, Kyle, not only great coloring, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, but kind of surprised. Kyle's doing some really great artwork here as well. I mean, he really kind of knocks it out of the park with a lot of this stuff. So we've got that. Anyways, they're just sitting there talking. There we go. By the way, he's also got some really great double page spreads. We'll get to that in just a second. Sorry about it. When Bear scans these pages in, he can't get it to kind of lay flat, so you can probably see the line there right in the middle. I'm pointing with my mouse and you can't see my mouse, but right there in the middle. So it's got a little bit of kind of a deformation there as well, but you can kind of get it. Yeah, great double page spreads. Kyle's just doing some great stuff here. So, the first couple 10 pages or so, he's just kind of setting up the world. The sort of guy here, he needs to go out and, the basic story here is he needs to go out and find these different, gosh, I don't even know if they had a name. The Starblades people. He needs to go find these different people kind of from different, I guess you would call realms of the Earth. You have some people that are, on top of mountains. You have other people that are like at the bottom of the sea. You've got people in the woods. You've got people, so he's got to kind of gather the team up, the A team, as it were, to kind of go and defeat this evil that is coming back to Earth. He's able to see the future and is kind of seeing that this danger that they've kind of been waiting for over 1,000 years or 2,000 years or whatever it is. He's kind of been waiting for this the whole time. So now the time's come. He's got to head out here and there's the title page, Starblades. There you are, art and story by Kyle Ritter. So anyways, he's got to head out and find these people. Let me see, there they are. So he's heading through the portal there and everything. One of the things that Bear noticed kind of right away is just some of the great, of course Kyle's known for it, is just the great coloring. I think this is probably one of maybe one or two of Kelsey Shannon's books, but one of the better. Just kind of laid out color-wise. There's kind of a whole sort of format. We'll kind of get to that in just a second. But, you're kind of seeing it here, kind of going from the whites or the blues over to the reds and that sort of deal. So it's, all these pages kind of flow together in sort of a color format that, kind of brings the whole book together. So anyways, he's heading out. Going to go find these people and... let me see. There they are. Oh my gosh! So the first set of people he's running into are running away from a giant snake. So one of the things that Bear was kind of a little confused about, they have different sort of animal connotations there. So the sorts of Starblades thing is this sort of magical metal, I suppose, and I think it has something to do with, like, I don't know, maybe like a spirit animal of some kind out there. So even though they're being chased by this giant snake, it's actually some sort of, I guess, avatar for the bad guys here. Anyways, kind of a great... there was never a page where it was a dull moment on there. There was always some sort of action going on, even when they're just kind of talking back and forth. Just some of the backgrounds and everything just really kind of shine, just kind of sparkled and everything. So there they are. They're kind of running from the, let me see if I can get to it here. There you go. Whoops, wait. No, is that the right? That's not the right one. That's not the right one. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So you can kind of see the sort of spirit animal, I suppose, that I forget the guy's name. I don't even know the guy's name here, but anyways, he has this sort of spirit animal, I suppose, that he's sort of channeling there. So another great double page spread here from Kyle Ritter. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Let me kind of keep going here. There's the bad guy. Anyway, so you can kind of see the pattern that's kind of developing here. So you kind of have that sort of blue, and then you had the reds, and then you kind of went back to the greens a little bit, a little bit more blue here. So every page kind of has this neat little kind of color tone that he's doing here. So hello, Justin. I'm reviewing, not only reviewing, here, let me kind of click on it here. Reviewing, we're doing two back-to-back here. So let me get to it here. Pardon Bear here. So we're actually checking out the Titan from Gary Shipman and Starblades from Kyle Ritter. So we're putting them up head-to-head. I'm going to find out who wins here. So let me get back to it here. Still trying to figure out this OBS stuff. Boy, I tell you what. All right, where was Bear? Where was Bear at? He was around here somewhere. I lost my place. But anyways, oh, there he is. Okay. Bear with Bear. Here is he. There we go. So anyways, some really neat color aspects that Kyle's doing here. Starblades, he had just excellent art. I mean, just kind of this page right here with the guy kind of, that looks pretty cool. Pretty much every one of these, could almost be a cover. He's doing just really great work. In addition to just the, oops, wrong one. There we go. There they are fighting along there. But yeah, he's got some great double page stuff here. Let's see, it's kind of a green. I don't know if that's like a lightsaber or if it's just a sword or something like that. But anyways, that's one of the characters here. But we're already up to page, what is this? Page 20 and 21. We've only got through two characters, so there is, I forget how many. We'll have to take a look in just a minute. But there's a whole bunch of characters here. We've only got to page 20, and he's got to collect all the characters together. So one of the thing that was kind of kind of as a ding for Bear here is that he had. Let me see if I can find him here. Beer with beer. Okay, there they are. There's all the characters there. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters. So there's 6 characters here. I think the last character is introduced like on page like 40, 45 or something like that. So basically you had character is introduced, and then, okay, you know, they have to kind of gather together the different tribes. So like all these different characters are kind of coming from different areas of the world or anything like that. So they kind of have to learn to work together, or learn to actually trust the gentleman that, where was he? Let me find him here. Let me find him. Oop. So they kind of have to follow the bald-headed guy here. I forget the guy. There's too many characters that I forget the names of some of the characters here. But anyways, they're supposed to, you know, learn to trust. I don't know, Captain Picard or whatever his name was. Trying to learn to trust. So anyways, you get introduced to a character within about 2 pages or so. All right, they're ready to go. They've learned to trust and everything, and then it's on to the next character, and then you kind of rinse, repeat, recycle, repeat, whatever, however you pronounce that. So you're basically being introduced to characters every couple 5, 6 pages or something like that. So this is the very I hope I'm not spoiling it for anybody here. Very last page, we finally get all the characters together, and they're gonna go fight the evil guy, which I'll show you the evil guy here in just a minute. Good stuff there. Go to fight the evil guy, and it's like, okay, we're ready to go, and to be continued. So basically the entire 50, almost 60 pages is just getting all these characters together, and kind of talking about their backstory and all that sort of stuff. One of the things that Bear might suggest is if he had to do this all over again or something like that, Bear would have suggested maybe kind of narrowing it down to maybe 3 characters. You also have a whole bunch of like villains as well. I think there's like 5 or 6 villains. So you have a whole bunch of characters that you're trying to introduce into the very first story. So Bear would have probably started with 2, maybe 3 characters or something like that. Get them together, have some sort of conflict. You know, maybe one of them isn't, totally on board with the rest or something like that. So you have a little bit of conflict there going on, and then maybe kind of going head to head against the main bad guy here, and then maybe they end up losing or getting defeated or something like that, and then they kind of find out, oh well, there's other 3 characters that we need to find. We need to complete all the characters that we got to get. So that might be like the next book is like, okay, we need to get the other 3 characters and then go defeat the bad guy there. So there was a lot of time just spent setting up the different characters and everything, and it just kind of there's one. Let me see, is this a double? There's the double page spread, although I got to find the guy here first. Let me find him first. Let me see, is that... There he is. Okay, so that's actually coming off of one of these other color pages. So you're kind of going from this sort of green over to a red, you know, so he's got this red kind of color set up, and then through the next pages, it's all red and everything. So every couple pages, it's, let me keep going here. There we go. So every couple pages, it's kind of a different color palette as well. So we kind of went from this sort of bluish green here to this sort of hellish red, hellish orange a little bit. I kind of like this picture here. He's like, "Rawr!" Anyway, so you're setting up all these characters here, setting them up. There we are. And there's some of the bad guys there. Again, sorry for the page there. It's a little kind of out of whack there, but yeah, you got this guy that he's another character that they got to set up. Let's see, where is he? There we are. So they're talking. Anyway, so he's got his whole, backstory and everything. He's talking about his, I think, dead wife or dead sister or something like that. And then he's going off to battle it out. Actually, kind of like this one over here on the right hand corner here, where he's kind of pointing up at the bad guys there, and rah, we'll take you on, that sort of deal. I kind of like that panel. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so it takes a while for this all the characters to get set up and everything. And by the time they're all set up, you're at the end of the story. So I think cutting down on the number of characters, excuse me, might help out a little bit. There he goes. There's another cool double page spread there. So there you go. Oh, I'm sorry, Justin. Let's see. Sith Hand Ninja. No, I think that was a little while back. It never really was fully kind of explained. It just kind of was glossed over a little bit. But apparently they've got sort of like technological or maybe magical. I don't know how you describe that, sort of as a crystal, I suppose. They all kind of wear the different colored crystals. So if you look on his chest, he's got kind of this sort of red crystal in there, and the other one's got different colors in there. Kind of giving them magical powers, superpowers, that sort of deal. So yeah, I don't know what was going on with his hand there. It didn't really kind of talk too much about that. So. He also says, kind of reminds me of Star Wars Legacy. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Starblades, very good. Yeah, I think if you had fewer characters, at least in the first go-around, I think that would have been better. There wasn't that many characters that stood out. They all kind of blended together. I'm trying to find the one that it was pretty cool. Let me find him, because he's that snake guy. Let me see. Bear with beer. Beer with beer. Here as he tried to find it. Let's see. I think that's what you're talking about, the hand there. Oh, yeah, this guy. So all the characters kind of ran together just a little bit. So this character, because I think his little avatar is that snake, has the little kind of stuff that he was talking about. So every S word that he has kind of has a kind of like a snake. So his character kind of stood out. And the other kind of character was the other bad guy. The only characters that really stood out were the bad guys. Let me see if I can find him here. There he is fighting. Did I already show that? Oh, there's the other. So they've got a number of different bad guys in here as well that you got to kind of keep track of. How much? Pardon me. How much did the book cost? Let me try to remember. I think if you're not familiar, Justin, a lot of this stuff comes off of Indiegogo, so they're crowdfunded books. So usually you kind of put it up ahead of time, and then you get it delivered, a couple months or so later, or stuff like that. On this one, it was a little bit different than some of the normal Comicsgate stuff. I think Kyle did it at, I want to say 25. I could be wrong on there. It might have been 30. $30, but it didn't come signed. So let me see if I can kind of get to it here. Let me get to there we go. There's the video. I don't know if you can see over there where it's signed at the very bottom there. So that was a different tier. It was, I want to say $40. Or it might have been 50. It was definitely a price up just to get it signed, which was kind of disappointing for Bear. The only downside, I think, was Kyle had like 10 different covers, 10 or 12 different covers. He had a bunch of different covers, so I think he was just trying to avoid having to sign a whole bunch of different books, and maybe they didn't all go out or something like that. So he just offered that for as a different tier. So I think that was right around $50, which that gets a little pricey. I think that was a little too pricey for the book. Very good book. I just wish that he would have signed it kind of normally. So there you go. Yeah, I do think that it's still in demand, but I could be wrong on that, Justin. So if you want, go check out. Here, I'll put it in. I don't have the website address or anything like that, but there we go. If you just check out Indiegogo, that's where the books are, and you can check it out. Look out for Starblades or look out for Titan. We'll get to that in just a second here. So, yeah, Starblades, a really good story, kind of too short. I wish they would have actually had the confrontation with the bad guy and everything like that, but that's all right. Excellent artwork, as you can tell. He did just an amazing job. The whole thing with the color, I wish I had more pages to kind of show just how it kind of progressed and everything through there. But yeah, Kyle did a really great job with that. So let's see. Justin says, online it says only 90 pages, so that's a pass. Oh, okay. Well, stay tuned because we're actually going to talk about Titan. So just hang on to that if you want to check out Indiegogo and Titan. Look up Titan. It's book number 2, so you can check that out. Let's see. The characters in Starblades, again, they were kind of... they were a little bit forgettable other than the actual, look of them. Everybody kind of ran together. That's why I think that having few characters and a little bit more of kind of different personalities would have helped out there a little bit. So, that's Starblades. So, all right, let's see. Let's just get into, since we're almost there, let's just go ahead and talk a little bit about, if I can get to it, Titan. We're talking about Mouse of Might. The deluxe edition is a collection of 3 different books. So Gary Shipman came out with 3 different books there. Let's see. Justin says it looks cool, but too pricey for only 90 pages. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, hey, that's why Bear's here, to kind of review some of this stuff. And if you like it, or if you like what it looks like, check it out. And if you don't, hey, you saved yourself a couple bucks here. So there you go. All right. Thank you, Justin. All right. So Titan, Mouse of Might. We're talking about Gary Shipman. Again, we were talking a little bit earlier. Starblades, Kyle Ritter, if you don't know, is kind of a colorist extraordinaire out there. So he's done a number of the larger Comicsgate books out there doing the colorist. So he kind of branched off and did his own book there. Gary Shipman, kind of more known for the sort of black and white editions of stuff. If you've checked out either the first Titan or Packin's Land. I think Packin's Land was black and white. I'm not 100%. Packin's Land was like 575 pages. So that was a little thick for Bear to be able to lug around or take out to the cave or something like that. But okay, so Titan. Let me get to it here. There he is. You can kind of see some of the pages here. Gary does just some excellent artwork. It doesn't really need coloring. I think he's going to come back and do some coloring for the Titan stuff. Gary, if you're listening, you don't need it. I mean, you really don't need it. I think the black and white really kind of stands out on its own. It's a lot like watching a black and white film, I suppose. You kind of might... look at that now and, why am I going to watch a black and white film when there's color films out there? And then you kind of get into the film and you just don't even notice that it's not, your brain is kind of putting in colors itself. So, or you just kind of like the starkness of, I really do kind of like the starkness where Gary kind of plays with the black and whites, the different contrasts and everything. I think he does a pretty good job there. There we go. Got to wet the whistle. So yeah, a great artwork here from Gary Shipman. And since we're literally picking right back up where we left off here from the end of Titan #1. So let's see, let me try and describe this basic story. Titan is a little mouse. He came from the sort of Packin's Land universe. So Gary Shipman has another book called Packin's Land, and kind of in its own little universe, as it were. So apparently there was a rip in the space-time continuum or something like that allowed a talking mouse to kind of come over into our realm here. So you've got this mouse that he has been kind of experimented on, and we'll figure out why he's being experimented on by the mad scientist here. So he's kind of turned him into a how would you describe it? A sort of bat mouse, a Batman mouse, if you will. So he's out there fighting crime as a mouse here. There he is. I actually like this. I like this kind of full page one. That's you can pretty much see all the detail that Gary puts in there and everything. So he's doing a really good job. And actually, if you people haven't checked out, Gary actually put out a larger print. I'm pretty sure it was Titan 1. I don't think it was Titan 2, but 11 by 17. I think it was 11 by 17. Anyways, larger book, larger format of all that stuff. So if you haven't checked it out, do check in. I think it's still in demand there. You can check that out and enjoy it in its full size and full glory there. Let's see. Justin says, looks cool. It has an 80s, 90s indie comic feel. Oh, yeah. Gary did a great job here. And like you said, you kind of look at this and say, oh, it's a mouse. I don't. No, it's a great story. He's got some great characters in here. You kind of think. I like how it says crash on the keyboard there. That's pretty cool. I just noticed that detail. So there's a lot of detail, a lot of little hidden details like that in here that you can find. Just some great artwork that he did here. Very detailed. Gary just does an awesome job with it. And let's see. So Titan is coming from another realm and is being kind of held, I guess, hostage, as it were, in this laboratory by the evil science man here. And he's actually got his own sort of backstory and the reason why he does his thing. So not only just great artwork, but just it's a simple story. Titan at the very, let me go back to it here real quick. He's just trying to get to his. Let me see here. You can't really see it. It's kind of backwards and everything, but right there, he's got his girlfriend or wife, I think, that's being held, and so he's trying to break her out and trying to get some help from the other mice that are from the other realm, and so he's trying to find his wife and maybe get back to his own little realm there. So very very basic, very simple story that's told very well. You don't always need to have a very complex 20 different angles and people coming from all this different sections or something. You just come up with a very basic story and just tell it very well. So there is the mad scientist, as it were. He's trying to get Titan to do some stuff for him, and Titan just wanting to do it. So he's going to do this sort of zap ray on him here. So it's kind of interesting. I really like Gary's, there it is. I really kind of like Gary's sort of style. He's got this sort of thing going on there. And it's just kind of talking, it's like a flashback. So he's flashing back to a Titan's early age here. So it's kind of going back to this sort of Packin's Land universe where Titan kind of came from. And he's talking here with Papa Mouse, as it were. Let's see. Oh my God, that's all the pages that I scanned in. All right, so that's a very quick ending here. Anyways, I really like this sort of flashback that he has here with a Titan and his dad. The sort of not death ray, but the sort of zap ray that the science guy is zapping Titan with, kind of makes him go back and kind of relive some past history and stuff like that. So I really like how Gary did this. You could have just set this up in normal panels and it would have been fine and everything. I mean, you saw Kyle Ritter and how he was setting up with the panels and everything. Some double page stuff. You're not going to find too many double page. I don't think there was too many double page spreads in here. If there was only like a handful or something like that. Anyways, Gary just does a really great job, a very efficient job at the story that he's trying to tell here. So that actually came out really well. Simple story, great artwork. You're gonna get some just great results here. Great results. So let me see. I'm not sure if I can do with the different scenes here. Bear with because I want to try and put it up. Nope, you can't. Gosh dang it. OBS. I tell you what. All right. Well, let me just go back to there. We can at least see. We can at least see both of them there. So putting them up head to head here. This was probably one of Bear's hardest. We've kind of done this before. So Justin, if you haven't checked out Bear's channel here, kind of go back to some of the earlier live streams. It's been probably about, gosh, I think we did the last one maybe in December or so. But every once in a while when we get a couple books in, try and put them up to head, especially some really good books here, and figure out who. Look, there's no losers in any of this stuff. Even 499. Oh, I need to show that. To Justin here. Not really a huge recommendation, but we were talking about it earlier. So let me just show that real quick. Just beer with beer. No real losers in any of this stuff, but there can only be much like the Olympics, there can only be one winner here. So, anyways, there we go. Can we see it? There's 499, another book. It's Richard C. Meyer and Narwhal. Let's see if there's anything on the back here. There we go. There they do the Narzak, the Narzak joint there. So it was a good book. Good book. I mean, you know, I can't recommend everything, but there we are. Ratboy 367 says, "Bear, Ratboy." Good to have you here. Good to have you here. So, hey, you got here right at the right time because we're actually going to announce the winner between Starblades and Titan number 2 here. Put them up head to head. Both great books. Kyle Ritter just does an excellent job with the coloring. That's why this was such a fun head to head, because you're literally putting up black and white comic book to an excellent, probably one of the best colored books that Bear's seen. But once again, there can only be one winner, and it's really just based on the story. I thought Starblades could have been a very excellent story if he'd kind of cut down on some characters or maybe added some pages to it, so we could kind of see at least kind of a neat battle between the good guys and the bad guys there with Starblades. But I've got to give the slight thumbs up here to Titan Mouse of Might number 2, volume number 2 there. Just some great work from Gary Shipman. You're really not going to go wrong with Gary. Pretty much everything Bear's gotten from Gary has been just top notch. Even got a piece of original art there. This is kind of a funny story. Actually ended up wanted to get a piece from the Titan 1 and sent that off to Gary and everything. Gary accidentally sent I was trying to find the page too. I need to go back and look for it. I need to find the actual page in the book. But Gary actually sent a page from number 2 here. So ended up having to send that one back to get the original page that Bear wanted and everything. So Bear can tell from experience, both in 1 and 2, that Gary just does a great job. Seen right up close there. Just a great job with Titans. So can't recommend it enough. Do want to just give a shout out to Gary. Do appreciate everything you do, and keep up the good work, man, because Titan, I think he's going for Titan number 3. So if you get over to Indiegogo, I wrote it down there in the comments here. Check out Indiegogo, and I do not know if it's up yet, but if you go to either Titan or just look for Gary Shipman, you might be able to get on his email list, and that way you can kind of get some discounts and everything. And since Justin was asking for Starblades, I think I need to go back and double check, but I believe Titan number 2 here was, for the hardcover, I think it was like 45 or 50. I think it was right around there. I might be off by a couple bucks or something like that. Got that, and I don't have. Oh, is it out? I might have to go get it if you guys want to check it out. Gary actually did. Bear always says get 2 books, because you want to have maybe a reading copy, or you may want to give one to a friend or something like that. So Bear's got another book that actually had a remark in there, and I mean just the artwork that Gary did on that was really good. I want to say that was. Like 75 or 80 or something like that. So really, you're getting a really great deal. I mean, look at this. This is a very thick book, as it were. A very thick book there. So there you are. Oh, and also, just real quick, because I didn't scan them in. Just in the back of the book, Gary does some kind of fan art or just different stuff that was going on at the time. So there you are. So yeah, the deluxe edition, not only does it come in hardbound, but it's got some extra stuff in there as well. And of course, Bear is giving away. Oh, don't look back there. He's holding up the book with a lantern. So there you go. There's a little bit of behind the scene stuff for Bear. Yes, indeed. All right, let me. I tell you what. Yeah, let me go ahead and grab that. It's gonna take Bear a minute, so just sit tight for just a moment. I'll try and go and see if I can find the Find the book with the remark. So stay right here. Bear will be right back. Right back. All right, I think this is the right book. Let me see. Oh yeah. And actually, Gary had this up on his YouTube channel. So if you want to check out Gary Shipman's YouTube channel, he's actually got some video, 5, 6, 7 videos or something like that, where he's drawing the remarks in the book. So if you've gotten the book and want to check out Gary's channel, he's going to have. Where is it? He's going to have the remark as he's drawing it. So I thought that was pretty cool. It'd make a neat kind of a neat what is Bear trying to say here? A neat a time lapse video where it goes pretty quickly, because I think it takes him just a little bit. Oh, by the way, I mean, oh my gosh, Gary is known for his swag. Look at all that swag there. You got the patch. You got the stickers and all that other stuff. Bear actually got the Titan coloring book. So if you do not like Titan in black and white, you can actually color it there. So anyways, show this real quick, because the other one doesn't have it. But you can go check it out. I think it's like video number 3 or 4 or something like that on his channel. And a nice little watermark, or remark, I should say. But that's a heck of a remark. Look at there. Look at there. That's pretty cool. There's a Titan. He's climbing, and I remember watching on the channel, like, a lot of he either switched brushes or he did something with the brush, so you can kind of see a little bit of a different pattern on some of the stuff that's over here than the rest of the drawing there. Here, I'll just leave that up if it'll stay. If it will stay. I don't know if it'll stay or not. No, it's closing. It's closing, much like the video here. Justin says, cool stuff. Well, I thank you so much, Justin. I do appreciate it. Well, like Bear was trying to say here, probably going to go ahead and wrap it up, since we've got the Starblades and Titan all figured out. But if you guys have any questions, we'll stay tight for just a moment here. But yeah, we try to do this every when OBS decides to work for Bear. I tell you what, try to do this every Wednesday and Saturday, right about the same time. I got 8 o'clock here on the East Coast, whatever time zone you happen to be in. But yeah, we do this Wednesdays and Saturdays. Usually just kind of a cross between a hangout channel, Bear just talking about whatever he wants to talk about, and the occasional review, other fun stuff as well. We did a campaign review not that long ago, so different stuff in the Comicsgate realm that or just even not. I mean, hell, we were talking about the vaccine stuff today, so it'll be interesting to see if Bear has a channel tomorrow. Never know, you never know. But yeah, that's what we like to do here on the Bear channel, is try to get some stuff out there that maybe some people haven't seen. Maybe some of the people that got Starblades haven't checked out Titan, or vice versa. Maybe a lot of people that checked out Titan didn't really have much interest in Starblades. So hey, it's nice to be able to kind of say, oh, okay, hey, here's what's good with this book. Here's some stuff that needs to be improved and stuff like that. Yeah, so we really haven't had too many very bad books here. It's been very lucky for Bear. Very lucky. All right, well, I don't think there's any further questions for Bear other than how do you get salmon, Bear? Well, I dig it out of the trash. That's how. We don't have too many salmon here in Florida, so it's a downside to that. All right, well, hey, you know what, Rat Boy, appreciate you stopping by. Justin, hey, come on by again sometime. Do appreciate you having here. Bianca, one of the great channels out there. Go check out Bianca Fights the Zombies. And Kind Wizard, hey, great to have you here as well. Do appreciate it. And along with all the other stragglers and lurkers out there, hey, we appreciate you too as well. You know what? If you do like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. You know what? If you haven't subscribed to Bear's channel, what are you waiting for? YouTube's #1 review show by a bear. That's right. That's right. That's what we do here. All right. Well, once again, everybody, thank you so much. Do appreciate you guys coming out. I hope you have a great weekend here. But you know what? All this campaign stuff, all this comic stuff, it's made Bear hungry. So he's going to head back into the woods. So until next time, people, grrrrr.